各位
Members, will you kindly be seated now? So we're going to start our second session.
團體代表同埋公眾人士啊參。
Welcome back to the second session. Please take a seat. The purpose of the special meeting is to hear from individuals and deputations regarding the setting up of the ITB. First of all, we welcome your attendance, and please wear your headset because some people might be speaking other than Cantonese. 0 is a floor, 1 is Cantonese, Channel 2 is English, Channel 3 is Putonghua. I'd like to remind you that aside from legislators and the designated officials, those attending today, their verbal and written submissions are not protected by legislative power and privileges. And please also take note, those attending in the public gallery, there is a notice that you need to read. They are related to security matters. We also will deal with members' motions, and individuals will have 2 minutes to speak, and then our panel members can raise questions. Officials will only answer questions, they won't speak. So, first of all, Ms. Kam-shing. Good morning. I am speaking on behalf of young people. Well, a lot of speakers have already spoke, so I will be focusing on the youth aspect regarding IT and the impact on our future. Now, you are aware that previously in Guangdong, Maoming, there were people rallying about a toxin called PS, but PX, if you look it up, it's a toxic agent. Tsinghua University chemistry students, they also held a rally. Now, if this occurred in Hong Kong, will people defend Hong Kong internet freedom? I think you know the answer. We only have a lot of kings and religious leaders. All our industries are concentrated in finance. Well, finance is about following the trend, so the whole younger generation won't think independently. They will just follow blindly. We need a new technology culture, such that the young generation are logical. We want a democratic society, we want democratic participation. That is a prerequisite. So allow me to say the IT new bureau will set a new direction. Then the youth will have a future. So you don't need to speak so closely to the microphone. The microphone won't move. And just now, Mr. Lau Gaho, please arrange your poster. You had it upside down just now. Okay, your turn to speak. Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, members, I'm speaking on behalf of Hong Kong Information Technology Federation of Youth Groups. We support the government setting up the ITV. The reason are as follows. First, technology and our daily lives are closely related. For example, games, applications are contributions of technology. So we believe that when the ITB is set up, it can effectively promote the application of technology in business and in daily life. Second, the ITB, there are similar bureaus in neighboring jurisdictions. After setting up the ITB can assist SMEs to enter international markets, and we can therefore stimulate economic activity and we can enhance competitiveness. We can also develop our own local economy. Third, we believe that every year we have young graduates entering this field. There are numerous new young graduates, and we believe that the ITB can consolidate the industry, can train personnel, because innovative technology, as Professor Hong said, that every 6 months is a new season. We believe the ITB can provide courses, and we also hope that communications and innovative technology can come under the ITB. So that is our expectation, and we hope it can set up ITB immediately. Professor Hong said every 6 months is a generation, not a season. Next, Ms. Chen Kok-ping.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Agnes Tan, Chairman of the Digital Information and Telecommunications Committee of the Hong Kong General Chamber of Commerce. On behalf of the members of the Digital Information and Telecommunications Committee, we thank you for the opportunity to be here this morning to discuss the administration's proposal to establish the Innovations and Technology Bureau. We welcome the administration's proposal, which we think is timely. In principle, we support the establishment of the Bureau, which we believe will be focused and dedicated to formulating policies and promoting the development of innovation technology and information technology in Hong Kong. Innovation technology and information technology underpin and sustain our economy, our society, and enrich our lives. We should not underestimate their contributions to our future development. We believe the devil is in the details, and therefore we look forward to continuing dialogue with the administrations to exchange our views in details on the proposal. Thank you.
下一位
Next, Gary Yu. I'm representing Hong Kong Electronics and Technologies Association. We believe that technology is a diverse field. If Hong Kong wants to become a knowledge economy, it's an important element. At the same time, innovation and technology can provide a better quality of life. So setting up the ITB not only promotes R&D, it also provides more job opportunities for our young people. As an industry representative, the Hong Kong Electronics and Technologies Association believe that Hong Kong needs to catch up. Some legislators started filibustering and stalled the reform, so they created an obstacle to the setting up the ITBB. We feel that an opportunity was missed. So setting up the ITB has the support of different parties, and we urge legislators to not disappoint the public and support the setting up of ITB as soon as possible. I need to clarify the 5 secretaries and 12 bureaus was proposed in 2012. Next, Ms. Jenny Chan. I'm representing the Love China Hong Kong Alliance of Youth Cultural Service Societies. I want to support retaining the Fanling Golf Club. We are opposed to Occupy Central. So those who are opposed setting up the ITB, why do they criticize it of overlapping? These are just excuses. IT was just compartmentalized. How can it be professional? How can it make breakthroughs? The previous government made a mistake. The current government is just correcting past mistakes. So do we allow mistakes to continue? So how can a secretary handle so many different branches? We're talking about IT. The whole world is moving forwards, and we cannot just relegate it to a corner. We need to have a separate IT bureau to coordinate affairs. We don't want to lag behind other jurisdictions. We need to catch up and do better than other jurisdictions. Those who object to setting up ITB, they don't want to help Hong Kong. They just want to disrupt and destroy. I have a family member who asked him what he wanted to do. He said he wanted to be a scientist, but Hong Kong has no openings because we don't have an IT bureau. The previous governments did not place any emphasis on this. And this is not a joke, it's a sad joke. And up till now, we have Hong Kong UST. They had just announced that in 2014, they are ranked 4 in the world, and all the students want to be scientists. They love science. So the current government needs to support them. So, Ms. Chan, time's up. So the ITB should be set up as soon as possible. So we need to have students to be able to contribute. Time's up. You've overrun 40 seconds. I need to introduce this lady. She is from Love China Hong Kong Alliance of Youth Cultural Societies. Next, we have Mr. KWOK Kwok-chuen. Thank you, Chairman. I'm an economic analyst from Hong Kong U, and I used to be a consultant, but I'm speaking as an individual today. Well, we've heard a lot this morning, but let me focus on something else. If you look at R&D investment figures, it's all government funding, and the funding is for tertiary institutions, and the largest funding is for medical research. Today, nobody has talked about that because, well, medical research funding is from the UGC. We want to invest money to support IT. We have, and that is ITC money from the Economic Commerce Bureau. So doctors are not attending this, they're not interested. So I want to use this example to illustrate that medical technology were top in the world, at least in certain aspects, whether it is avian flu or SARS or other Asian indigenous diseases, because we have a very unique environment. Our medical students, top of the world. We have decades of experience. I want to highlight one point, that to use this as an example, what we need to think about in terms of IT innovation. We should have coordination between departments and bureaus. So the idea of ITB, I feel, it's not about what it should include, IT, ITC, and so on. It should have a person coordinating the macro aspects. So that is the bigger picture. and currently IT is interdisciplinary. So I feel we need to place emphasis on it. Thank you, Mr. Kwok. Next, Mr. Walter Young. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you. I represent myself. I'm an SME. I'm working in IP exchange. I support setting up the ITB as soon as possible because I started in the electronics age. I've seen the prosperous days of Hong Kong, and now we're the worst amongst the 4 Asian dragons. So I would like to see an ITB coordinate us, and in the process there are 2 suggestions that I would like to propose. First, we shouldn't just focus on institutes and universities. Please pay more attention to SMEs, because SMEs are better than our neighboring jurisdictions. We rely on ourselves to build the platform. Nobody has bothered with us. We need someone to lead. For example, in intellectual property, why do we not include IP? We would like to see the ITB first, and slowly include Creative Hong Kong, IP, Intellectual Property Commission, and so on. It should be done step by step. And second suggestion is that the government is looking at long-term objectives. We should look at the Greater China market, and after the ITB is set up, we should have more policies in this area. We should encourage SMEs to participate, and most importantly, the government needs to take the initiative and use more made in Hong Kong products, and we need more Hong Kong platforms. It's not necessarily money. Time's up. Mr. Lei Yun Fat. I'm speaking on behalf of Hong Kong Federation of Innovative Technologies and Manufacturing Industries. We support the SAR setting up the ITB. The SAR in the past has worked with different institutes, Hong Kong PC, Hong Kong Science Park, and universities, and in this respect they have done a lot of work. The manufacturing sector has also benefited, but I think just now a lot of views were heard, and our group supports this initiative. We need coordination, because if there is government intervention in research, ultimately we need to develop some efficiencies, and the manufacturing sector will benefit. Thank you, everybody.
Next, Mr. Ho Wai Fong. Good morning, Chairman, Mr. So, and honorable members. I represent the Hong Kong Professionals and Senior Executive Association. My name is Wang Ji-yung, and I come from the communication and IT sector. For Hong Kong to catch up with the pace of development in the IT industry and to maintain a competitive advantage, we need to set up the ITB so that we can coordinate the development of relevant industries. Our association hopes that the ITB can operate quickly, and I suggest that after setting up the ITB, the government should carefully consider whether or not the IPD and Create Hong Kong should also be put under the ITB. The new policy bureau should clearly explain to the public what are its vision, mission, and policy objectives. I represent that its mission should compose of 3 parts. First of all, promote the sustainable development of Hong Kong. Secondly, promote creativity. And we believe that we like also the following suggestions. nurturing talent in the IT and to increase the pool of talents in this field, to encourage and promote the development of technology and innovation, and to collect the latest information regarding the development of innovation and technology, to create a good ecology for scientific research, and also to consider how we can come up with the supporting facilities. We also support the proposal the government should reconstitute the CDP, the Digital 21 Commission, and also the Creative Industry Steering Committee, and invite more professionals from the field to join such committees, including those who have rich experience in innovation and technology. Thank you. I think the gentleman who spoke represent the Hong Kong Professionals and Senior Executive Association. They also have put in a written submission for the Secretary's reference. Next, Dr. Johnny Yip. Thank you. I represent the World Trade United Foundation IT Committee. I would like to urge LegCo to endorse the proposal to set up the ITB as soon as possible, so that the Bureau could be set up as soon as possible to promote the development of communication, information technology, and also help achieve economic recovery. IT is now widely applied in different industries, and is now an integral part of our daily management and so on. And ET is therefore, history has told us that economic crisis often comes with the new information technology revolution. So if we could get a good grasp of IT, we will be able to recover at the earliest. Neighboring jurisdictions in China are committing huge resources into IT in order to meet the challenge of global competition and emerge the winner. In the new IT revolution, IT information for Hong Kong, there's a lot of room for development. Our traditional services, IP, and so on, the rule of law, we have many competitive advantages, and with the help of these factors, we can help develop IT. We need the Hong Kong administration to work together with China and the neighboring jurisdictions. That there should be coordination, cooperation. Dedicated IDB can help promote these policies and coordination so that we will not, lag behind the neighboring countries. And therefore, on behalf of the IT Committee of the World Trade United Foundation, we urge members to pass the bill to set up the ITB so that we are able to have economic recovery. And please do not let the people of Hong Kong down once again. Next, Mr. Edmund Lee. Chairman, I'm speaking in my personal capacity. I also am Deputy Chairman of the Digital Analysis Hong Kong. Well, the association has just been set up for 2-3 years. We focus on big data. I graduated in IT. I founded my own business, and now I'm also doing some work to promote the development of the industry. I think in Hong Kong all along, the government has never told us that we need to develop IT, because there is no designated bureau to tell the young graduates that they can join the IT industries. So at the age of big data, be it China, Singapore, and neighboring countries, everybody wants to use big data in the next decade and leveraging the technology to help us develop the future economy. And it's not just the financial economy which can sustain Hong Kong. I therefore look forward to the government setting up the IDB as soon as possible so that it can coordinate and promote all the people in Hong Kong who want to leverage on technology to contribute to the economy of Hong Kong, so that in the next 10 years we will enter a more economically more vibrant stage. So I hope that the bill can be enacted as soon as possible so that the Bureau can be set up. Please do not waste the opportunity for us to leverage on technology to promote the development of Hong Kong in the next decade. Thank you. Mr. Thomas Cheung. Thank you. I've been in the business of IT investment in I started in the 1990s. In the 2000, I invested in IT in China. Since last year, I built an electronic platform, crowdfunding. Has become very popular in the West, and in the UK, in the US, they are enacting legislation to help this platform for raising capital so that young people can build their own career with the help of this platform. Map Solution, in its 2014 report, pointed out that crowd financing has already raised $5 billion US. Compared with 2.7 billion raised last year, there was more than 100% growth. And the World Bank predicts that before 2015, the business opportunities created by crowdfunding could amount to $93 billion US. For the electronic commerce platform, such as the internet payment platform, are lagging behind China and the neighboring jurisdictions. We believe that in Hong Kong we need the leadership of the ITB to research into not only platforms like crowdfunding. Actually, there are many new derivative products from arising from the internet, and we need a designated bureau to coordinate that. On the one hand, we can protect the interests of the small investors. At the same time, we will not, stifle the development of creative industries. I hope that honourable members will support creative industries, and there is an urgent need for us to build the ITB. Mr. Lee Tak Hong, I represent the Hong Kong Innovative Technology Preferred. Over the last 10 years, we have been part of the IT industry, and we're really sad, as Mr. Paul Chair has said earlier, we do not have an accountable officer and appropriate policies. As a result, resources have been improperly deployed. Different departments are confusing the roles. And government funding is confusing young people because all the money has gone to research into IT without supporting the market. As a result, most people don't want to buy products made in Hong Kong. More than 30-odd young people graduated from the Science Park. The products that they've invented are not popular, are not used by the people of Hong Kong. People have spent a lot of money in research, but there is no market for the products which have been developed in Hong Kong. All the products, of R&D are, leading the world, but they simply left to struggle on their own. One speaker told us that the doctors have done very well in Hong Kong because we have very good facilities. Once you graduate, you know that you'll go through the housemanship and then you'll be successful. But not so for R&D. We put in all our efforts in R&D and nobody will use the products that we've developed. So the crucial factor here is that we don't have a bureau to lead all the different departments and the whole of Hong Kong. I must point out that technology has to be applied. We must apply new technology before there could be breakthrough. It's like the doctor going to the internship, they have to go to the 1.0 beta version. But whenever people in Hong Kong see this, they would tend they're not interested in doing these things. Next, Mr. Leung Wai Fong. I speak on behalf of myself, and I believe that everyone present and also those in the trade will not object to the point that for any major project you need good coordination before we can minimize the risk and create a synergy effect, especially when we're now talking about an investment amounting to $10 billion. At the initial stage, if there is no proper if we get good population, we can leverage on our past experience, the experience of our previous failure, so that together with trade we can work out the right direction that would suit Hong Kong's needs and enhance our competitiveness. So we should do the right things right, and this is a very important concept. The third point I'd like to make is that in our heart, we already know what is the meaning of new technology. It's not like 10 years ago people only associate new technology with Motorola. So today, indeed, we are lagging behind, and we need to be united and to help each other so that we can pick industries which have the potential and the competitive advantage. Together with the new generation, we should build a new platform for development so that new industries can have a good and orderly process for development, so that they will not go bankrupt halfway. Otherwise, we will not be able to build up the talent for this industry. If we do not give the new opportunity to give up this to miss out on this opportunity, the cost will be more than building a bureau. Just because our kids cannot go to university doesn't mean that we should not send them to school. So we need to think carefully, and remember the world is changing fast. We need to catch up. I think building the IDB is the first step we should take. Mr. Chen Ting-wai. I work in the finance industry and the technology industry for more than 4 decades. I've been a member of the IT Commission for 8 years. Many of the things I'm going to say may not be pleasing to your ears. To set up a bureau now, and the proposal really is lacking in substance. So I think the proposal is not practical, it's not feasible. When I look at the ICT, I think what they're saying in this paper is similar to what they said 10 years ago. They can still quote the same thing 10 years from now, but their objective is getting bigger and bigger without giving us a figure. They talk about our core competitive advantage, ensure sustainable development for Hong Kong. We now have an economy with a GDP of $260 billion US. So can we really, I think we're not talking about the Hong Kong dream, and to change reality, we cannot just rely on the secretary. The whole government has to really, So I don't think there is any messiah. Previously, we had a steering committee. It was chaired by Zhang Junhua, and he didn't do well, and another secretary took over. For the last 40 years, our industry contributed to 25% of the GDP. We were top among the 4 Asian dragons. We are nothing but our industrial estates. 40 years later, we are now, the laggard among the 4 Asian dragons. So what should we do? We don't have industry participation. We're not just talking about research. We're talking about commercialization of the products of R&D. I hope lecturer will consider once again that we should come up with practical target. We shouldn't be so abstract and empty, as Mr. Paul Chair said. If you read the paper now and the paper the government published previously, is the same. Mr. Leung Chi-hong. Thank you. I'm Yang Chi-hong. I represent the Association of Hong Kong Electronic Industries Association. We've always supported the development of creative industries. We therefore fully support the government proposal to set up the IDB in order that we can boost the future development of Hong Kong. We hope that the setting up of the IDB is not just a slogan, but rather it can help plan, come up with practical and options to help the industry develop IT. Otherwise, the result will be counterproductive. In order to maintain our international competitive advantage, we have to leverage on technology and innovation in order to promote our economic development. We support the setting of the IDB for the following reasons. First of all, the ITB will be specially charged with the development of IT. It can help our industries to transform themselves. The new bureau can step up support for IT development and focus on the development of high value-added industries. And creative industry is the major global trend. The ITB can focus on the development of our industries and attract more of our students to join the creative industries. The majority of our members and companies in the course of the transformation, we need the support of young graduates to joining us. We hope the ITB can create more platforms for young graduates to build up the interest in IT, and also that we can attract retired people from the IT industry to work as consultants and to work together with our young graduates. The ITB not only can build up the support of public opinion. I think the time is up. Next, Mr. Law Man Yin. As a member of the IT industry, I can see, and also a member of the Alliance. I think over the last 17 years, government's policies in terms of technology and measures have not met the public's expectation, the expectation of the industry. The core issue is that the policies are not clearly defined. There are no specific, targets or objectives or strategies. So all the funds and measures which have been launched over the years are really very superficial. For example, the application procedure could be very complicated. The requirements are too stringent, and there's too much focus on short-term returns. I think our Hong Kong economy now needs to transform itself. And this is exactly the time we need a designated ITB to leverage on its role to coordinate the work of the technology-related work. The ITB the government is proposing set up doesn't appear to be a perfect proposal, but I think this represents a flexible mindset. So long as you can invite participation from the technology sector. Well, the present proposal seems to be too simple and not specific enough. Does it mean that we don't have to do anything? The answer obviously is no. I think we are making a good start, and as we adopt an orderly and progressive approach, as we are willing to make improvements along the way, I'm sure Hong Kong's competitive advantage will improve. And setting up the ITB is the most crucial step. And I believe members should be willing to really, welcome the proposal, and I think we should immediately set up the ITB. Mr. Hao Tung Wing. Thank you, Chairman. And I'm Hao Tung Ying. I represent the Hong Kong mobile software base. Our principle is to promote the interests of SME and to promote the platform of wireless internet technology. We support the proposal to set up the ITB as soon as possible. Over the last decade, especially during the term of the last administration, I think Hong Kong has missed many opportunities. Today, most of the SMEs which are engaged in IT are struggling.
This has everything to do with the lack of a coordinated department in Hong Kong, and neither do we have sustainable policies. Let me talk about my own experience. 2 years ago, I was in Guangzhou, and together with IT sector people there, we had a discussion on supporting SMEs. And now Guangzhou has already set up a very big department. It has a gross floor area of thousands of feet. This is because there is the policy support in Guangzhou. here in Hong Kong, we have done nothing for 2 years. If we do not try to catch up ASAP, we will be marginalized. I hope members will listen to public opinion and set up the bureau. Next one, Dr. Ho. Chairman and members, the administration is very much appreciated for putting its word into action and proposing to set up the ITB. I hope members will have the overall interests of Hong Kong in mind and not filibuster to waste time. We should go for innovation so we can be competitive. Some people say the ITB does not cover communications and broadcasting, but this is not fair. IT is just like the financial services. It has a special meaning for the entire chain of services and industries. In India, the IT proceeds account for 30% of GDP. In Hong Kong, this is an emerging industry with an advantage, but it progresses slowly. This is because there is no dedicated bureau to promote it. If Hong Kong does not face up to this fact, our economic competitiveness will go down. In the mainland, they have the Ministry of Information and Ministry of Information Technology. So here in Hong Kong, I think it is appropriate for us to separate IT with broadcasting. Some people say the ITB should be set up only in the next term of government. I think this is hard to imagine. It is wrong. IT is developing fast and it is going to make huge contribution to the economy. There is a consensus in society already for the ITP to be set up. Please do not delay anymore, or else our next generation will stand to lose. A journey of 100 miles starts with the first step, so let us take it. Professor Wang, thank you. I represent the Alliance for ITB. I have 3 points. Number 1, the collective wisdom in this alliance. It is a civic organization. It sets up a platform for the public to express their views on the proposal to set up the ITB. We have also set up a Facebook page, and we have got 10,000 likes in just 3 days. This goes to show that the public are thirsting for the ITB. So the Alliance supports the ITB, and we want it to be realized as soon as possible. 2, IT has a future. IT is one of the 6 emerging industries in Hong Kong, but it has progressed slowly over the years. The Alliance is of the view that there is not enough emphasis placed on IT. All these years, our injection into IT is just like 0.75% of GDP. It is always 3 to 4% for Taiwan, USA, Singapore, and India, etc. Even in mainland China, the percentage stands at 2%. South Korea, Japan, and US are very advanced in IT, and their IT industry is one of the core impetuses for promoting the economy. So Hong Kong should have the ITB so we can draw up policies conducive to our economic development. Number 3, do not filibuster. Some members filibustered in the last... Sorry, time's up. Mr. Chen Wyman, Chairman, Secretary, members, I represent the Hong Kong Young Industrialist Council. We support the setting up of the ITB because with the ITB we can coordinate IT and also communication with the industrial sector. If we have the Bureau, then the commerce and industry sectors can be combined with IT, so we become more competitive and we can go for high value addedness. We hope that the Bureau will look at the following points. Number one, it should set up a platform for communication. The industry sector has insufficient communication with people in the R&D field. If we can be brought together with researchers both on the mainland and Hong Kong so that the products of research can be commercialized, then I think we can allow Hong Kong economy to take a new step. And we hope that the Bureau will also provide sponsorships so enterprises can make use of the three advantages of the industrial sector, i.e., when we deal with enterprises, we go global. We have a network of clients. That is the first point. Secondly, in the Yangtze Delta, in the PRD, we have large pools of talent which can help us commercialize research results. And number three, we have a big Chinese market. I think your time is up. Next, Mr. Chang Hong. Good morning, members and officials. I represent the Center for Innovation and Technology, CU Hong Kong. We support the setting up of the ITB. It is clear that Hong Kong is lagging far behind other people, and we need a bureau to coordinate the work. When enterprises respond to the market and when they like to commercialize research results into service or products, they would cooperate with the universities. To lessen the burden on enterprises, we have got the IT fund to provide financial support. It is a good arrangement, but very often the emphasis is on the application centers, and the universities and enterprises do not have a capacity for R&D. We hope this bureau will put in place more flexible arrangements so you can help enterprises and universities to develop R&D, but at the same time, you should allow enterprises to develop their own capacity for R&D. In the circumstance, there could be funding for some private enterprises. Now, to allay the doubts of the public, I think the Bureau should concentrate on formulating strict and fair criteria for applications for funding. This is our first proposal. Secondly, I hope the Bureau can work with universities to help students start up their own businesses. Sorry, your time is up. Next, Mr. Peter Yan. I represent the Hong Kong Computer Society, and I urge members to support the setting up of the ITB. For the industry, and actually in society, I think that has been a consensus for a long time, and there is a common consensus. I don't think there are many issues that can pull so many people together. Let us treasure it. The Hong Kong Computer Society is of the view that having the Bureau will be beneficial for Hong Kong to develop into an IT hub for the region. You can support IT development, you can have diversified IT industries, and then we can also have long-term policies to promote and encourage R&D and also promote investment as well as the training of personnel. And we can leverage on this advantage to attract more inward investment. Under one country, two systems, we have a sound legal system, we promote fair competition, we have a free flow of information, we do not have a foreign exchange control, we also have data protection, we are a very open and free environment for business, and we can actually attract a lot of mature enterprises from developed countries to come to set up shop in Hong Kong. This will make Hong Kong even more competitive, and this is good for Hong Kong's future, and it will create opportunities for Hong Kong's young people. The Hong Kong Computer Society is of the view that having the new ITB means that we should allow professionals to help coordinate the macro development of the industry. The administration should also encourage SMEs. Sorry, your time is up. Mr. Lee Chin Pang. I represent the Hong Kong Electroplating Merchants Association. I support the setting up of the Bureau, but I must first ask what the Bureau is going to do. Will it only concentrate on software and IT? Is it so narrow? Actually, in the 70s, Hong Kong's industries developed rather well. However, SMEs were left on their own. Let us see how the Bureau can support us. I can give you an example. Let us look at soccer. Students and young players must join the team. The same goes for IT. We have to work with the young so we can have sustainable development. Thank you. Mr. Jackie Zheng. I represent the Chamber of the Hong Kong Computer Industry. IT is applied in all industries. It enhances Hong Kong's competitiveness. In the 80s, Hong Kong's computer industry led the Asian region. But Kodak, IBM, Nokia, and Motorola, one by one, they wound up. And then if you look at Singapore, Taiwan, they have overtaken us. Samsung. It is very much supported by the government, but Hong Kong doesn't have that. We have got these IT awards. Daniel was given the Grand Award. He was just seen in a photo with the CE, but then nothing came out of it. So Daniel, the Grand Award should be worth $5 million so that they have seed money for R&D so that they can continue to develop. Maybe Mr. Greg So is not a position to make decisions. So perhaps we can have a new bureau so there will be more resources. Second, rent is so high that young people from an average family cannot hope to start his business, but IT will give them hope. I hope honorable members will think about our young people's future, allow them to set up business, and please do not dispute this anymore. No matter what, just go at it, and we can remedy the situation later. Give them an opportunity to get started first. As for the secretary heading the bureau, we hope the person must be someone who knows the industry in and out. Let's go back to Mr. Horace Lau, who said that he would just listen and not speak. So that's it for deputations in this session. It is now time for members to ask questions. We have Lo Wai Kwok, Charles Smok, Sin Chung Kai, Anne Chang, Raymond Chan, Emily Lau, Claudia Mo, Regina Ip, and Wong Ting Kwong, Paul Chan. We should end the session by 11:35. 10 members have lined up. Is that right? Have not lined up to speak 2 minutes each. Lo Wai Kwok. Chairman, I have done some statistics from the first 2 sessions. 51 out of the 60 registered deputations spoke. Some of them did not come, but all of them said that the ITB should be set up and soon as well. But of course, some were also asking questions, but I believe they were asking the questions so that the Bureau would be more perfect. Many of them are from the industrial sector. Now, I'd like to use this minute to ask the industrialists how they would like the Bureau to help the industries. Who would answer the question? Chen K-Pugh? Just take a look at how the enterprises will be represented in the Bureau. At the IT Commission, we have more professors than entrepreneurs. It is okay to have professors, but we want R&D results to become dollars and cents. In South Korea, Taiwan, Singapore, and mainland, there is a high industrial presence in these commissions. In Hong Kong, the internet is so penetrative. This is because the property developers are plowing in money into the networks. So let us be realistic. If there is no industry, if there is no investment, things will just remain in the laboratories. If entrepreneurs and industrialists are not willing to take risks, nothing will come out of any R&D result. Just look at South Korea, Taiwan. That is exactly what is happening. Thank you, Mr. Charles Mock. First of all, I thank the deputations for coming. I'd like to ask Mr. KWOK Kwok-chuen this issue. He said that we should have better coordination within government. It is clear that we cannot lump everything that relates to IT in just one bureau. And you also mentioned that it is important for the bureau to work together with other government departments. And the new bureau must be a super liaison point. Perhaps I should give time to Mr. Kwok so he can tell us what he thinks. Mr. Kwok was the economist for the Hong Kong government. He was a high-ranking official. No, I was just an average citizen. Well, I like to cite medical services as an example. If we are talking about coordinating IT throughout the territory, if you look at from an economic point of view, our competitive edge is our medical services because it is very strong. If you talk to doctors, they will tell you that they face this problem. The hospital authority, the medical services system are now putting more and more emphasis on the rights of patients, so it's very difficult for them to test new medicine. However, if you can't do this, you cannot carry on with the research. From the HA, from the personnel, they would say, I don't want to be blamed, so don't come to me to test the medicine on my patients. However, we need to strike a balance, and I believe coordination is important. Another example is open data. As you know, this will afford a lot of opportunities for SMEs to do many things, but then it must be coordinated by the entire government. Next, Mr. Sin Chung Kai.
係個谷係細到咩咁嘅時候咧，就變咗一個好冇牙嘅局。
This bureau is going to be small, and so it is not going to be useful.
救世主。
We have to rely on the whole government. To give you an example, there has been a bill in the LegCo regarding vessels emitting black smoke. They're using a Ringelmann chart. They're using visual inspection. The smoke is white, gray, or black. So I asked the Marine Department, take a look at the other jurisdictions, whether there is new technology. So, and that is back in the 1980s. So, if you were to create a bureau, it's too small, then how can you coordinate the other departments? So, the secretary said we need to start first, and then we have high expectations, a new bureau, but it cannot live up to what Mr. KWOK Kwok-chuen said, a coordinating role. Some bureaus are very large. We have housing and transport. It's a large bureau. But in the future, this small bureau, even in transport and housing, there's a lot of IT that can be used. How can you have a small bureau coordinate a large bureau? So I share Mr. Chan K-piu's emotion. As Mr. Loy Kok said, they just don't live up to expectations. So could the two of you elaborate? Well, we don't have much time. Ms. Jung Lai Wan. I'm very touched today. If you take a look at the officials, they're rearing up to start up a new bureau. When on this side we have people in the industry with many years of experience. So there are engineers, IT experts, and in marketing. So they have a lot of first-hand experience. But then we only have 2 minutes per person. There's not enough time to express views. So if we could collect everybody's wisdom, then in the future we can think of how to do a better job. If you treat them as treasure, you can gather their experience. I think the ITB will have bright prospects. So we've heard from so many friends talking about different issues. As Mr. Lau Ming-ho said, how are you going to help them? How are you going to support them? How are you going to implement? That's very important. I've also heard a very important point is about marketing and commercialization. Yesterday I met with a listed company chairman. He says the government is always falling behind. The printed circuit boards that we're doing, there's always new technology. Before I come to market, there's already a new product. If you look at the Motorola, Nokia, handphones, Ericsson, where are they now? If you next, Mr. Chan Ji-chun, time's up. Nobody objects to developing IT in Hong Kong, but we cannot just support the words. I understand. We're in a stalemate now. Now we're taking a gamble to see if we have a ITB, can they resuscitate the industry. So if they do a good job, that's good. If they can't do anything, there's no loss. Well, we've heard observations. There's some disappointment. I can feel that. So you should have the Economic and Commerce Bureau Secretary accountable. Mr. Lei Dak-ho just now said when you go to Science Park, you see a biotech project, they get a reward. There are some international brand names using it. It's for it's a rapid toxic test. But the government doesn't patronize the service. Well, that's because of government policy. We have R&D, but it's not commercialized, it's not marketed, and therefore it's not used. So Hong Kong should review IT policy, innovation technology policy. We should have a policy first and then dish out the money. So I'd like Mr. Chan K-piu to elaborate on commercialization. Well, the government doesn't patronize, so would having an ITB help in response to the medical commercialization issue? Hong Kong medical industry is very advanced. That we allowed pregnant women to give birth in Hong Kong, and then that was stopped and now the hospitals are losing money. That's a joke. Emily Lau, thank you, Chairman. Thank you for providing your views. Some people say we're falling behind South Korea, Singapore. So if we set up the ITB, how will that help us catch up? Who can respond? Mr. Lei Tak-ho. Just now, we have a lot of infrastructure for the young people, but there's no market. So the government should patronize our products. That's a good start. Just now you said the bureau was small. How can it play a role? Well, there's a first step. Everything starts from scratch. How can we change the world? It starts with a few people. So if you do nothing, if you want to wait for funding, then we have to start with version 1.0 and improve up till 10.0. But if you don't start, there's no change. Why are we stuck? Any other views? How can we catch up with Singapore and Korea? I was talking about commercialization in overseas. When I talk to scientific R&D companies, they want to come to Hong Kong. We have the Chinese manufacturing base. We can export. We have engineers in Hong Kong and the mainland. They can take a scientific concept and turn it into a product and sell to the world. So that is what we have in Hong Kong. How's that related to the Bureau? There is a lot of disconnect. We have Hong Kong scientists, overseas scientists, so the Bureau can match them. Next, Claudia Mo. Science is related to ideology. If you look at this government, how have they oppressed Ricky Wong in the name of science? If you look at news freedom, press freedom, the internet media, the fifth right. And if you have a new bureau, will it become an innovation and quote surveillance unquote bureau? They will now be given this surveillance power, and I'm worried. I understand the industry supports this. You want the young people to have job opportunities. The government will give you funding to support. You'll have job opportunities, but you really need to be worried that this government, all along, their methodology, they have nepotism. You might have heard about iPro-A. It became a C.Y. Leung fan club. There was overlapping of functions. Is this really something that you want? Or do you want the current administration to clarify? What do you want the ITB to do? What are the terms of reference? How will you commercialize products and not just empty talk? So, in the end of the day, it's a matter of credibility. We have a lack of trust. There was an appointment yesterday. Next, Miss Regina Yip. I support setting up the ITB. In 2006, I have been fighting for this. In 2011, June, there has been a proposal to build an ITB, but I have a question for everybody. You want more government support, 5 million prize, but if you look at the US, if you look at Google, Apple, Facebook, these were not government supported. How come some people can do it? What do we lack? and in information technology, where are we most likely to succeed? Is it games? Can anybody provide some views? Yam Ging Son. Regarding Miss Emily Lau and Regina Yip's questions, setting up an ITB, how can that help us and where do we have an advantage? We talked about Korea, Singapore. Our advantage our telecommunications and data infrastructure, data centers, these services. If you look at international consultants, we're ranking 6 in the world. The top 5 are North American, European countries. We know that there are game companies that are successful, not just one. What other areas can we succeed? So if we have this policy bureau, they can develop where we have strengths. Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Chan K-biu has some different views regarding the ITB, but I see he's disappointed. I want to ask the officials and ITC scientific research is just a means, but application is the end. So if the ITB is set up, how can you take R&D and commercialize it? How can we merge the business sector and R&D? We want the businesses to be interested in R&D. That would vitalize and support R&D. Thank you, Mr. Wong. A lot of deputations say that the government should patronize local industries. They should be the first customer. We already have a tender system that is long established, modeled on the WTO. So put simply, when you have a tender, you need 2 envelopes. You have to look at the price and quality. You have to look at the track record. If there's a new development, of course, they won't have a lot of track record and the price won't be low. But 2 years ago, we had introduced we had a trial. So government departments, as long as they support a project or the government department, okay, time's up. Our session should end at 11:35, so we'll extend another 5 minutes. Mr. Paul Jay. So unless the government has a non-interventionist policy, where, for example, the Singapore government, they promote all kinds of industries. They promote airlines, tour agencies, and so on. So otherwise, no matter how many bureaus you set up, it's just an overlap. So, of course, form and substance are 2 separate issues. Talent and headcounts are different. If you want a policy and a policy bureau, it's different issues. In the past, we had a lot of policies, a lot of funds, but how come we weren't successful? So, is adding as a new bureau a silver bullet? Of course, I support having a tourism bureau and a cultural bureau. The transport bureau or even a railway bureau should be established. But having bureaus doesn't solve problems. To a certain extent, I support taking the first step. But we cannot discuss the full issue today, but I hope that the Bureau just is the first step, and you should garner more industry support. And Mr. Chan K-biu has a lot of ideas about the situation. I'd like to hear more from him. How can we have more substance? Not just having the head count, the framework. That's not the goal. I hope you can think along these lines. Give the government more pressure. We need substance, money, and talent. Thank you, deputations, for expressing your views. I think it's very clear. We've heard that all attendants today has support setting up ITB as soon as possible. I'd also like to respond. Sin Jong-gai mentioned the Marine Department is still using faxes. Other government departments are not fully utilizing the technology. Ms. Emily Lau asked if a new bureau will make any difference. I want to mention that the CIO coordinates scientific development. It's insufficient. So if we had a professional bureau leading IT development, including application of IT, I believe this would be better than just having a large bureau, small department deal with it. So we'd like to see ITB set up as soon as possible. I have a question from Mr. Chen Waiman. You mentioned that you support industrialists. So what is your largest expectation for setting up this ITB, Mr. Chan? Well, I look forward to the Bureau to link existing things together. We have industrialists, we have innovation. Well, we have a lot in Hong Kong. I've been approached by other countries. They say they have things that we have things that they want. So why can't we come together and commercialize products? How can we convene industrialists and scientists? And we need to be innovative. Well, the second session ends here. We have to thank deputations, public. We'll take a 5-minute break.